Hello everyone, good evening. You're watching Awaz News. I'm Kubrali, bringing you today's latest top stories of Canada.
3 adults and teen have been taken to hospital following a single vehicle crash in North York early Thursday morning. The collision occurred near Finch Avenue West and Melody Road, east of Islington Avenue at around 12:45 a.m. Paramedics told Awaz News that 3 adults and 1 teen suffered serious non-life-threatening injuries as a result of the collision. The crash also impacted Line 6, shutting down train service on the LRT between Albion and Duncanwood stations. Shuttle buses are running through the area. A teenager is injured after a vehicle collision in Etobicoke on Thursday morning, Toronto police say. It happened in the area of Finch Avenue West and Martin Grove Road at around 11:15 a.m. Police say they responded to the area for reports of pedestrian struck. Paramedics tell Awaz News they brought a teenage girl to hospital with serious, potentially life-threatening injuries. Toronto police say the driver of the vehicle appears to have remained on the scene. The circumstances surrounding the incident are unclear at this time. Ontario Provincial Police say a dump truck driver is dead following a crash in Oshawa on Thursday morning. The single vehicle crash happened on the Highway 407 eastbound ramp at Simcoe Street shortly before 8:15 a.m. Police said the dump truck rolled over in the area and the driver of the vehicle was subsequently pronounced dead. The area is expected to be closed to traffic for several hours for the police investigation. The Toronto and Region Conservation Authority (TRCA) is warning of an elevated risk of flooding in the GTA due to heavy rainfall on Thursday. One area of particular concern, the TRCA said, is along the Lower Don River near Todmorden Mills and the Bayview Avenue extension south of Pottery Road. Toronto police said Bayview Avenue is closed in the area due to the ponding and pooling. The TRCA noted that fast-flowing water and stable banks and inundated areas pose significant safety risks. TRCA watersheds have ranged from about 20 millimeters to 67 millimeters according to the agency. The flooding wreaked havoc on rush hour traffic with collisions and flooded roadways reported in many areas across the GTA. A special weather statement remains in effect for Toronto, though meteorologist Bill Coulter said the heaviest periods of rain are behind us. The National Weather Agency said rainfall amounts of between 5 and 20 millimeters are possible on Thursday. Zellers has officially made its grand opening in Toronto, reviving one of Canada's most recognizable brands that experts say will need more than just nostalgia to stick around. The discount retailer opened a new store Thursday morning on Orpheus Road, 80 Orpheus Road, marking its first traditional location in the Greater Toronto Area since the last remaining city store closed back in 2020. Most stores closed in 2013. The Toronto location follows the opening of a standalone Zellers store in Edmonton last fall and comes as the company explores additional sites in markets including Brampton, Scarborough, Ottawa, Calgary, and Vancouver. An additional location, however, is set to open at Windsor Tecumseh Mall in July. Chief Operating Officer Joey Benita previously said the long-term goal is to rebuild the chain's national footprint. The return is likely to resonate with Canadians who remember the retailer's heyday when Zellers operated many stores across the country and became known for everything such as Club C loyalty cards introduced back in 1986. But experts say nostalgia can only take the brand so far. I'll give you the simple answer first. No, nostalgia won't be enough, said retail analyst Doug Stephens in an interview with Awaz News. Winter 2 also echoed that same viewpoint. He said nostalgia may attract curious shoppers and generate publicity, but long-term success will depend on offering competitive prices and products people actually want and can actually rely on. The new store will carry apparel, home goods, luggage, and seasonal merchandise. It was also feature familiar brands on shelves such as Adidas, Juicy Couture, Dickies, and Wantage. Stephens said the retailer enters a highly competitive landscape dominated by major longtime players such as Walmart, Canadian Tire, Dollarama, and Giant Tiger. For winter, the choice of Office Road is an early signal of the company's intentions. Toronto police say a 19-year-old suspect wanted in connection with shooting at the U.S. consulate back in March has now been arrested as new details surface about a wider gun-for-hire probe into a series of shootings in the GTA. Police confirmed Thursday that Sarah Jabi, the second suspect wanted in connection with the consulate shooting, had been taken into custody. News of the arrest comes one day after Ruby Sahuta, Canada's Secretary of State for Combating Crime, suggested foreign entities are believed to be behind recent gun-for-hire shootings at synagogues in Toronto. Police have not confirmed a foreign connection to the shootings, but during a news conference earlier this week, Toronto Police Chief Marin Demkiw said the suspects in the consulate shootings are among a group of young people who have been recruited into criminal for hire networks where bad actors hire individuals through encrypted messaging apps to carry out shootings at various targets, including synagogues and Jewish schools. In the news release issued Thursday, Toronto police confirmed the arrest of Chabi, who is facing several charges, including theft of a motor vehicle, possession of property obtained by crime, discharging a restricted or prohibited firearm at place, and attack on premises of internationally protected persons. The shooting occurred on March 10 at around 5:30 a.m. at the University Avenue building. Police alleged that white Honda CR-V was heading west on Dundas Street when the driver turned south on to University Avenue, stopping in the front of the consulate. Two male suspects exited the vehicle, police said, and discharged firearms, damaging glass in the doors of the building. Police also alleged that the suspects recorded video of the shooting on their phones. No injuries were reported. The vehicle they were traveling in, which had been stolen shortly before the shooting, was later found abandoned in Scarborough, police confirmed. The other suspect in the shooting, identified by the police as 18-year-old Sheldon Tracy Stewart, was previously arrested during the execution of 5 search warrants in the city on June 11th. Constable Mark Pinizzotto was fatally shot at a 4th-floor apartment building on Martha Eaton Way in North York while executing one of those warrants. The suspect in the officer's murder, identified by investigators as 19-year-old Nicholas Bennett, was shot multiple times by another officer who was standing behind Pinizzotto. Bennett, who was hospitalized with critical injuries after the shooting, will face one count of first-degree murder, police said. 2 firearms seized during the June 11 raids have been linked to 27 shootings incidents throughout the GTA, including the consulate shooting, Demkiw said this week. Parks in Peel region, one in Mississauga and the other in Brampton, are set to be renamed in honor of 2 police officers with links to the area who were recently killed in the line of duty. During a special city council meeting on Wednesday morning, Mississauga councillors voted unanimously in favor of a motion to rename Indian Gate Park near South Down Road and the Queen Elizabeth Way after Constable Mark Pinizzotto. The 150-acre green space is located in the Lorne Park neighborhood and features walking trails, public art, and a pier. Indian Gate Park is said to have been a favorite space for 43-year-old Pinizzotto and his 2 brothers while they were growing up in Mississauga. Pinizzotto was an 18-year member of Toronto Police who served for more than 5 years on the emergency task force. He died on June 11 after being shot during the execution of a search warrant in a high-risk operation in North York. Pinizzotto was married, father of 2. Brampton is also looking to do something similar and will be working to rename a park for fallen Ontario Provincial Police Constable Tarun Bali. The 29-year-old officer was fatally struck while attempting to stop a vehicle in Hearst, Ontario on June 9th. Bali, who grew up in Brampton, was assigned to Central Ontario's Dufferin Detachment on Orangeville, but was on deployment with the James Bay Detachment at the time of his death. Earlier this week, Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown announced his intention to introduce a motion at the June 17 council meeting to permanently honor Bali's life and service in his city. This motion, which councillors passed unanimously Wednesday, seeks to ensure the Constable Bali's legacy of service and sacrifice is permanently recognized in our city. It proposes working closely with his family to identify a suitable park and taking the necessary steps to rename it in his memory, along with the appropriate public recognition and commemoration. Brampton's mayor went on to say that Bali's connection to the city was deeply meaningful, and he would immigrated here from India with his family and was raised in the city and maintained strong family ties here throughout his life. The funeral services for both Bali and Peninsula are set for Thursday. Police say they have recovered a loaded gun and charged 2 Toronto residents, including a 15-year-old boy, in connection with a home invasion in Vaughan last month. The incident happened on May 15 at around 4:45 a.m. York Regional Police said 4 suspects forced their way into a home near Stormont Trail and Carling Road, which is north of Niger Mackenzie Road and west of Weston Road. Investigators with the York Regional Police Hold-Up Unit have charged 2 suspects and are seeking an additional 3 in connection with the home invasion in city of Vaughan. Investigators said the suspects woke and confronted the sleeping homeowners, threatening them with a gun and demanding they hand over jewelry and the keys to their Lamborghini. They then fled the scene in the victim's vehicle in tandem with a dark-colored sedan driven by a 5th unidentified suspect, police said. As a result of investigation, police identified 2 suspects involved in the home invasion. On Monday, police executed 3 search warrants at residences in Toronto and arrested 2 people. Police say one of them was found to be in possession of a loaded firearm. 3 suspects remain outstanding. Giovanni Thomas, 18 of Toronto, is facing several charges related to gun possession as well as disguise with intent, possession of property obtained by crime, and failed to comply with release order. A 15-year-old male also from Toronto has been charged with robbery with a firearm, disguised with intent, possession of property obtained by crime, and failed to comply with release order. The charges have not been tested in court. Authorities say at the time of the incident, Giovanni and the teen, who cannot be identified under the provisions of the Youth Criminal Justice Act, were bound by judicial release orders for unrelated offences. This investigation is ongoing, and anyone with further information is asked to contact York Regional Police Hold-Up Unit by calling 1-866-876-5423 extension 6630 or Crime Stoppers anonymously. A York Regional Police officer is facing criminal charges after allegedly making unauthorized use of a computer and committing a breach of trust. On Wednesday, York Regional Police arrested and charged Constable Kivijan Kitiswaran with unauthorized use of a computer and breach of trust by a public officer. The officer was released from custody on conditions and is scheduled to appear in court in September 2026. Police say Kitiswaran has been suspended with pay since April 11, 2025 as a result of an ongoing investigation by York Regional Police Professional Standards Bureau. Keith Swaran has served as constable with York Regional Police since October 2024. He has assigned as a uniform officer in the Services for a district which serves approximately 330,000 residents in the city of Vaughan and the southern portion of King Township. York Regional Police say the investigation is not related to Project South, another investigation in the police corruption that resulted in the arrest of 7 Toronto police officers and 1 retired officer. Former Mississauga Mayor Bonnie Crombie says she's weighing her options amid speculation she could run to lead the city again. We are considering options, Crombie told Awaz News Wednesday when asked specifically about whether she planned to run in Mississauga's upcoming municipal election. Crombie was mayor of the city for a decade from 2014 to 2024, succeeding longtime mayor Hazel McLean. She stepped down from the job and entered provincial politics after winning the Ontario Liberal Party leadership race in 2023. Crombie's possible return to municipal politics comes less than a year after she stepped down as Liberal leader following an election lost to Doug Ford in February 2025 and a weak leadership review from her party in September. Crombie said she will have more to say in the coming weeks about her future plans, but her rivals had plenty to say Wednesday. Ward 2 Councillor Alvin Tedjo, who is running for mayor himself, slammed Crombie in an interview on News Talk 1010. She left because she wanted to be premier. I get that. She thought there was something better, but she quit to do something, and she's currently treating the city like a backup plan and consolation prize. And honestly, I think residents deserve better, Tedjo said. He said both Crombie and Mayor Carolyn Parrish and are more of the same. For her part, Parrish said she wouldn't participate in a flurry of publicity around Crombie and that she would reserve comment until she actually registers to run. Councillor Deepika Damarula is also running for mayor. In a statement, Damarula said she welcomes anyone to the race who wants to contribute ideas about Mississauga's future. If Crombie does jump in the municipal race, she would likely still have Premier Doug Ford as an adversary as well. Asked back in March about the possibility of Crombie running for mayor again, Ford said he would send an army down to Mississauga if that happened. When Crombie was mayor, she and Ford frequently traded barbs over development charges and other issues. Ford has since said he would work with anyone when asked about the municipal elections. If Crombie does run, she would enter a crowded race. 7 candidates are already registered to run for a mayor in Mississauga, including Parrish, Tedjo, and Damarula. Voters are set to head to the polls on October 26. 2 teens are among 3 people charged in an extortion investigation after allegedly planning to kidnap a victim at a home in Markham last weekend, York Regional Police say. Police say they were called to a home near Prince William Drive and Swansea Road near Highway 7 and Kennedy Road on June 13 for a report of 3 suspicious males. The masked suspects, police said, arrived at their residence that day and demanded to speak with the victim. When officers arrived, they located the 3 suspects in front of the residence. The suspects were arrested and 1 suspect was found in possession of a replica firearm, they said in a news release issued Wednesday. Through the investigation, it was determined the incident was connected to an ongoing extortion. Investigators believe that an individual was being targeted for a kidnapping. 3 males from Toronto, ages 16, 17, and 19, are facing several charges, including conspiracy to commit an indictable offense, disguised with intent and possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose. Toronto could see up to 40 millimeters of rainfall tonight and into Thursday morning, Environment Canada says. The weather agency has placed the entire GDHA under a special weather statement due to a strong low-pressure system. It says that there is also the potential for severe thunderstorms later this evening and overnight. Meteorologist Bill Coulter says that the storm is not likely to intensify until around 11 p.m. Coulter says that once it arrives, residents should expect consistent downpours until 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., with the residual rain continuing until around 8 a.m. on Thursday. He says that the rain should not intensify until the conclusion of the World Cup game slated for Toronto Stadium at 7 p.m. However, he says that the 43,000 fans attending that match should plan for isolated showers. The game will probably be okay with just some light showers, but after the game, if you are out revealing because your team won or are just in the World Cup spirit and want to keep things going late into the night, well, you have to keep in mind that heavy downpours with embedded strong thunderstorms are expected from 11:30 p.m. through 3 or 4 a.m. and then we will still see a few lingering showers and thunderstorms until about 8 a.m., Coulter says.
Thank you for watching Awaz News. This is Kubra Ali. I'll see you tomorrow again. Have a wonderful evening.